finally told you why, said no, I'm allergic to like all these things, whatever. And then you just look at me with your snickerdoodles, totally deadpan, and you're just like, that sucks. And then we've been friends ever since.
Before we tackle that, I have to ask, are you allergic to good fashion taste? You know where I'm going with this.
You're gonna bring up the Crocs? Are you serious?
Well,
We're
you're
cool
allergic to fashion sense, so
2009, okay? They were cool in the early 2000s.
I would
still
love,
got
I
that
would
shit.
love to be in a dark time where I have to buy yellow Crocs. Well, I'm glad I didn't almost kill you twice.
Yeah, true. Actually, yeah, you did almost kill me.
Are the ingredients accurate? Like, is it 100% accurate, or have you ever been in a situation where you knew there was something wrong, but they didn't list the ingredient?
So that actually happened to my sister. It was like a may contain situation, but previously, it's like that law being enacted, and like corporations weren't like forced to put like as strict labeling as they are today. So we kind of learned that the hard way with my sister. Born with it, but then the thing is, like, you can still like develop allergies as you get older, the same way you can grow out of allergies. So
Do you know what eggs taste like then, or are you just so like focused on trying not to die? So to get rid of all your allergies, would you
okay.
kill your sister? So now it comes to the question: did you ever have an incident where you almost died?
So I didn't know. And then I later learned, like, because she told me, she said if you ever have the combination of, like, you ate something, like, they're allergic to, you have the throat problem, breathing, like, you can't breathe, and you have a stomach ache, like, you need to take your EpiPen immediately. Because it can be really, really serious, and it can progress, and I got really lucky. And my inhaler is what, like, saved me, because like, I remember I was like just choke, like I could not breathe. I was basically like suffocating, and my sister actually recognized that I was like basically choking, like basically not breathing, and my inhaler is what saved me. And she told me to take it, and she brought it to me, and like this whole thing, and I was telling her no, like I'm fine, whatever, clearly just not thinking right, and my
Typical
inhaler
Amanda.
saved me. No, I know. I'm like, I'm fine. So basically, you're just a really good friend. Oh wait, did I just say that? Ugh.
I think if you're in a group together, everyone should be comfortable and not have to worry about their health at all. And like
Yeah, because you're just a really good friend, and also like you said, I feel like a lot of people don't understand what it's like to be excluded from things for things that you just like simply can't help about yourself.
hello, welcome to my podcast, to Mics One JoeySooch. I am Joe Sooch, and I'll be giving a mic to Amanda or the Aldifer. I have never met this person before, and I have no idea why we are talking. Why are we talking again?
Why are we talking? Because you forced me. I don't even know you.
I'm kidding. We've been friends for like 8 years now, 8-ish years. We met back in college and had a lot of good times. Well, for me, they were great. Amanda told me to keep our conversation PG, but I am super PG. Amanda is into the X-rated stuff. Disgusting. People see a father figure in me. They call me Daddy, IDKY. I warned Amanda to keep it PG. Hi, Laura, Rich, and Alyssa, and Jared. Amanda is currently sweating right now and regrets ever saying yes to. So everything is going peachy. So would you like to tell the story how we met? It ties perfectly of what we will be talking about today.
It really does. Yeah, so thanks, Daddy, for the intro. Anyway, so we met in college at a party, and you offered me snickerdoodle cookies, and I was trying to be polite, and I was like, no, thank you, I'm good, I'm not hungry, like, blah, blah, blah. But you kept insisting, because that's your personality, and you were like, bitch, give me those snickerdoodles, and I was like, no,
Well,
I can't do
hey,
that.
I didn't use the word be. I didn't use the B word. So,
You said it with your eyes.
well, I mean, I was trying to be nice. Like, if someone make cookies, you want them to try it.
Yeah, so anyway, I had to tell you no, and then I finally told you why, said no, I'm allergic to like all these things, whatever, and then you just look at me with your snickerdoodles, totally deadpan, and you're just like, that sucks. And then we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, your friend Sam liked them.
I'm sure everybody liked them. I don't, you
Yeah.
probably gave them to like everyone in your house. except for me because I couldn't eat them.
They were pretty good, but that'll be for another time. But anyway, so the topic of today's podcast episode will be around our allergic thing. So would you like to guess the top 9 most allergic things?
Would I like to guess?
Or would you like to guess the most common allergy?
I'm going to guess that the most common allergy is peanuts.
No, you are wrong. It's actually
Walnuts?
cow's milk.
Really?
Yeah, I guess people that are lactose intolerant, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, the lactose thing. I didn't think about that. Did you Google that fact? Is it real, or are you just telling me that?
No, did it 100% factual. Brief interruption, I was wrong. Lactose intolerant is not the same as being allergic to milk.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know lactose intolerant.
Well, I'm not sure about lactose intolerant, but I think if you're allergic to cow's milk, you are lactose intolerant, or maybe they're two different things.
Oh, I used to be allergic to milk, like all dairy, cheese, butter, all dairy.
So I know that some people grow out of their allergies, so I'm guessing you grew out of being allergic to cow's milk.
Yes, I did. Yes. Unfortunately, I didn't grow out of everything else that I'm allergic to. I added more allergies, but I grew out of dairy.
Yeah, so the
I
top.
still remember my first piece of cheese.
Yeah, so we have the top 9 most common allergies. So we have cow's milk, eggs, peanuts, tree nuts, shellfish, fish, wheat, soy, and sesame. So everyone knows they do extensive research on each guest, and Amanda is no different. I contacted your doctor and it said you're 100% that bitch. Crazy stuff. Anyways, I have here you're allergic to eggs, nuts, mild allergic to soy, and possibly apple. Before we tackle that, I have to ask, are you allergic to good fashion taste? You know where I'm going with this.
Apparently, I am. I'm allergic to being cool as well. I'm very nerdy, so I'm just on the other side.
Yeah, so what is your deal with yellow Crocs?
You're gonna bring up the Crocs? Are you serious?
Well, you're allergic to fashion sense, so.
Okay, they were cool in the early 2000s.
I don't think they were ever cool.
Well, I mean, I was also really weird in 2009. I mean, I'm still weird, but like I was going through a dark time, so maybe that's why. But
I would love to be in a dark time where I have to buy yellow Crocs.
Okay, I thought they were cool. I know you're jealous. I think now I know what your Christmas present's gonna be.
I'm just gonna say that since you dropped the whole yellow Crocs lifestyle, you met an amazing man and you got married to him. So like I don't know, I think Crocs was holding you down.
Yeah, or I just fooled Jarrett. Suddenly I'm just like slowly but surely every day I'm just getting weirder and weirder. I'm gonna start wearing Crocs like tomorrow morning. He's gonna be like, "What are you doing?"
Well, now you guys are in a life commitment together and you can kind of do whatever you want now.
I guess that's true. So, once you have the ring, it's done. You could do whatever.
So I want to go back to the allergy thing, the real allergy thing that will affect your life. So what's crazy is your parents don't have any of the allergy, but you and your sister have similar allergy, except Alyssa, she's allergic to nuts, cough, cough. I'm totally going to cut that out, but I just wanted to say that joke anyway. So like, are you guys adopted or like what happened? Like, why are you so different from your parents? Any ideas?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, yeah, it's the only people that are allergic to anything in my family are just me and my sister. And so we're allergic to overlapping things, not exactly the same things. No one else in our family is allergic to anything. My parents both can eat really whatever they want, like not even a lactose intolerant issue. So this kind of just came out of the blue. And we were basically stuck with having allergies like ever since we were born.
Yeah, I bet your mom would be like, why can't you just be allergic to something like expensive taste or marshmallows?
Marshmallows are good. Yeah, I mean, my parents were like, why aren't you allergic to alcohol? Because that would just be so much easier, like when they were worrying about me living my life.
Wait, you drink?
The occasional alcohol.
Okay, you seem like a Grey Goose kind of person. It's just a hunch.
That's the problem. Yeah, yeah. That's another thing you should tell everyone here, because that's so related, is that you gave me my first shot of Grey Goose out of a Dixie cup.
Did I?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was your first one.
Yeah, it was my first one. And I
Oh,
tested it out, see? I was like, I'm just going for it.
yeah. Well, I'm glad I didn't almost kill you twice.
Yeah, true. Actually, yeah, you did almost kill me. That's a
Yeah,
good, I'm gonna label you that as now the friend that almost killed me.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Grey
Well,
Goose.
I'll have to think of like more times.
I mean, there's many times I almost try to kill you, but this is food related. I'm
True.
trying to stay on topic. And I'm also trying not to get arrested right now.
True.
So it says you are allergic to eggs, nuts, and soy. So is that either to avoid, or are there food that I wouldn't know that has soy, eggs, or nuts?
I think like probably the most surprising thing is that candy corn has eggs in it, which is really random. So I've never had candy corn. And then sometimes cheese could have eggs in it, which I found out the hard way, like a couple of years, like
Word?
2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was visiting my parents, and they just gave me like a slice of cheese from like the store. I ate it and like immediately got like super sick, had to go to the hospital. And then we later found out that like in that cheese, it was made with eggs for some reason. It wasn't like, yeah, it was super weird. So now I learned my lesson, and like you really have to read ingredients for everything, because you just never know. It's not, you
Are,
have to be safe.
are the ingredients accurate? Like, is it 100% accurate, or have you ever been in a situation where you knew there was something wrong, but they didn't list the ingredient?
So that actually happened to my sister in like the early 2000s, because she is allergic to sesame and mustard. And every time that she would eat like a specific type of pretzel, which I think was made with sesame flour, and then there was something else with mustard too. I forgot what it was, but she would eat them, and she would get really, really sick after, but no one really knew what it was, and we kind of thought she was being dramatic, because if you know my sister, it's not
Typical.
far. But it happened like every single time. Then we started to make the connection, and then later on, after like these laws were enacted, like later on, like a few years later, we realized that those pretzels actually contain sesame flour. It was like a may contain situation, but previously, so like that law being enacted, like corporations weren't like forced to put like as strict labeling as they are today. So we kind of learned that the hard way with my sister.
Were you born with these allergies, or was it kind of like a trial by error kind of thing?
Born with it, but then the thing is, like, you can still like develop allergies as you get older, the same way you can grow out of allergies. So like randomly I started to not be able to have tofu one day, or my fake peanut butter, which is called soy nut butter, and I was eating it and I just felt like really weird, like it wasn't crazy, and then I had to get like another allergy test, and they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you might be allergic to soy." And I'm like, "What the heck?" Because I always used to eat this stuff. So like, you just like sometimes it is kind of scary, because like you could just wake up one day feeling differently about something that you've been eating forever. That's why it's important to just keep going back to the doctor and getting tested, just because it's always good to know like where your body's at. Plus you might be able to grow out of stuff too, which is like the most exciting thing.
Would you not know if you grew out of it, if you're always staying away from it? Or do you like test yourself every couple of years?
No, you need to get tested to know. Like I've gone back and they're like, "Oh, you might be able to have like certain types of nuts and things like that." But then it's hard, because certain types of nuts don't really help you when like if something contains nuts, like you just have to stay away from it. So,
What did a test look like? Is it something you just eat and then just wait? Or
there's different types. So like the first one is like a skin prick test. They like basically like prick like your whole arm, and then they'll inject you with like different types of allergens, like food, pets, like pollen, whatever. And wherever you get welts is where you're allergic. Then they have a blood test, which is to me more accurate, just based on my experience, and less painful, because of the skin prick test. Like, and plus if it really hurts, and if you get welts, like you might need Benadryl. Like it hurts. So that the blood test is more accurate to me. It comes back with like a scale to see if like you're like how allergic you are to certain stuff. Like the skin prick is like to me is like the hives and the pain, but the blood test is like severe, moderate, like that type of thing. And then the third test is a food challenge where you actually go to a doctor's office and then you test out if you're allergic to certain foods just by sitting in the office, like having a piece of whatever it is, and then seeing how you react.
Could you just do that test at home though?
No, because if you actually do get really sick, like if you have a really bad reaction, you need to get medical help. So if you're in the doctor's office, like they monitor you in stages. Like the first step is them putting like the food like just to your lips for like a certain number of seconds. And then if you do okay with that, they'll like give you like a little piece, and then like if you do okay with that, you try like a bigger piece and you wait, and it's like a whole thing.
I guess this is not like a regular doctor's visit. This is an actual, like...
Yeah, you have to plan ahead for it, and then like you can only do it if like your tests come back saying that like you might be able to like tolerate something. Like, so I'm allergic to eggs. That's one of the things I'm allergic to. And like a couple years ago, the doctor said, "Oh, you might be able to have baked eggs." So then she tried to give me like muffins that had eggs in it to see how I would do. I did better than I had done in the past, where like I've had to test out a raw egg and then like my lips just like blew up. Like I couldn't even make it to eating it. Like that, I failed on the first try. But then like as I started eating the baked egg stuff, I ended up getting pretty sick. Like not the worst, just like not great. So like, you like have to be at the doctor's office to do it.
Do you know what eggs taste like then, or are you just so like focused on trying not to die?
Well, I don't know what it tastes like, so I've never eaten eggs like raw, you know, or like a plain egg. Like the one I've had like an egg, like, you know, like they tested it out and like I never ate it. And then when I had something with baked eggs, I now know what like a cupcake or a muffin tastes like when it's made with an egg, but I just don't know what eggs truly taste like. Like you could tell me it tastes like a hot dog and I would believe you.
I mean, I don't really know how to describe what an egg tastes like.
I don't know.
But like, is there anything egg related that you always wanted to try?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Donuts for sure. I started making my own like egg-free donuts like recently, which apparently have been pretty good. But I just want to eat like normal stuff. Like I want to have scrambled egg. Like I just want to go to a restaurant and pick something on the menu and just eat it without worrying, you know, or like modifying it. So basically anything, Joey. Just give me anything.
So to get rid of all your allergies, would you
Okay.
kill your sister?
No.
Okay.
Just because you want to.
I don't know. Maybe like you keep saying you want eat all these different eggs, and like, it's like, would you rather have like a pain in the ass, or would you rather have eggs? So
I would
it's
rather
like,
have my sister because we can bond over the fact that we're allergic to everything. It's like it's good to have a partner when you go out because then it's like not just you, it's like someone else and whatever.
well, I'm gonna take the eggs. Okay. Give me.
That's messed up.
I mean, eggs are pretty good though. So, you're missing out on a lot.
I don't know. Yeah, I like donuts for sure.
Well, do you remember the Well, your mom didn't. I don't know how well your mom made them, but you remember the one on Alyssa's birthday. She made the coffee cakes.
Yeah.
How would that? Because that usually contained that usually contained eggs, and there were no eggs in that.
Yes, like yes, except I will say like when eating that muffin at like a couple times, like you can tell that like the stuff with eggs seems like more like tightly packed, if that makes sense. Like the stuff that I make is like a little bit more crumbly. Like that's why that cake turned out really good, like the crumb cake thing that you found, because like by nature it's not like super eggs are binding. So like there's replacements though that you could use to like replicate recipes with eggs, but you just can't. You have to do it with certain recipes. Because, like, if something calls for, like, 6 eggs, like, you're screwed.
Now I'm kind of curious if I could know the difference between something that contains eggs and a dozen.
We could do a taste test. I don't know. Although, like, I'm sure if I did that, though, I guess it really just depends on what it is. Because people who are vegan, right, like, make all these things, and, like, I'm sure their stuff tastes similar, and, like, I'm not the best chef, so, like, I'll, like, try different replacements and, like, test out different flour combinations with the egg replacement for like the best recipe. Like I just find them online, but like, you know, I'm sure there's people out there that really know a lot more about that.
So do you try to replicate recipe? Like, do you try to look for a recipe that doesn't have eggs, or like a replacement, or do you just go for a recipe that don't even include eggs at all?
Both. Both. Like ideally no egg, but if it does have eggs, it has to be like 1 or 2 eggs max. Like I really can't replicate more than that. And then also like if I'm doing like a box mix, the mix itself just can't have eggs, which makes
so-
sense. You know, like a brownie mix or a cake mix, pancake mix. If the mix itself doesn't have eggs, even if it requires an egg, like I can still use it. But obviously, if the mix has eggs, then I can't.
Are you sure you want to stick with having Alyssa live?
No.
So now it comes to the question: Did you ever have an incident where you almost died?
Like technically, if you have an anaphylaxis reaction, which means that your throat closes up, the answer is yes. And that was like 2 years ago when I had like that piece of cheese with eggs in it. I had to go to the hospital. Like I really wasn't breathing. I was like basically like just choking. And I needed my EpiPen. Because I also waited a really long time to get help because well, it sounds silly, but I never needed my EpiPen in my adult life. So it was really hard for me to figure out. Like I knew I was really sick. I had like 2 rounds of Benadryl. I took my inhaler. I just didn't realize that my throat was closing, because when your throat is closing, it means that it's swelling. So like when that happens, your nose gets really stuffy and you feel like a lot of congestion over here. And I just thought I was just getting an allergic reaction, like my throat was fine. Because my throat felt kind of weird, but I didn't understand like everything happening to me.
Well, it's kind of hard to know because you're like in distress. But did your throat feel tingly in a way?
Yeah, I wouldn't say tingly. It's just like a weird feeling. Like once you feel it in your throat, like it cannot be. Well, that sounds gonna be bad, but like once you feel it, like it cannot be mistaken for another feeling. It's a stomach ache as well. Like you get everything. So like you feel immediately like really nauseous in your stomach. Like you like don't feel well. Your throat starts to feel kind of uncomfortable. It's almost like there's like a lump in your throat that keeps getting bigger. Like, or you know what I mean when you have a cold and like you feel like there's something stuck in your throat, like that. Yeah. It just keeps getting worse and worse.
I have had my throat swelled up before, so I kind of know what you're going through, except the being sick part. But I know the feeling of having your throat swelled up too.
Yeah.
Having difficulty breathing, and like in that case, I lived with it for 2 months that I couldn't eat food.
I remember you told me that, so you know exactly what I felt.
Yeah. And then, but how did you know that it was EpiPen time?
Because I went to the doctor. This is really embarrassing, but so I waited the whole day. I took 2 rounds of Benadryl because you know what? Also, I didn't have any hives, and actually, sometimes like if I touch something I'm allergic to and it like gets in my bloodstream, my eyes immediately get really puffy and I get hives. I didn't get hives and I had a stomach ache, but you know, I was sick, but like I thought I was fine. I went to this doctor. It was PM Pediatrics. Like I just met the age requirement max to get in, and the doctor looked at me and she was like, "You're an idiot." And she gave me my EpiPen. I had to get steroids. I had to take my inhaler, and then she sent me to the hospital. So I didn't know, and then I later learned, like because she told me, she said if you ever have the combination of like, you know, you ate something like they're allergic to, you have the throat problem breathing, like you can't breathe, and you have a stomach ache, like you need to take your EpiPen immediately because it can be really, really serious and it can progress. And I got really lucky.
So it was really that bad?
Yeah, it was not good. Like I needed a lot of medicine. And after they gave me everything, I finally felt like I could breathe. It was the best feeling ever, but I was shaking so much I couldn't walk. It was like crazy. They just loaded me up with medicine to get me to breathe again.
So like you take the EpiPen, but like what do you do at the hospital then?
At the hospital, they just monitored me and like they like gave me more medicine to like help me breathe and everything, because like that like was the quick fix. But then at the hospital, they like helped maintain my breathing and stuff. And plus I couldn't really walk, so I had to like be monitored, because also even after you get the EpiPen, like that's just like a quick fix. Like your reaction could potentially come back, so they had to monitor like all like my vitals and everything, and like give me more medicine to make sure I was breathing, and then I was fine. So
So
Yeah.
so when you did a pen, was it like a dramatic moment or was it just like a quiet?
No, I really felt like I was in a like I just felt so sick and I couldn't breathe and I was like, just give me it. Like I don't care. Like I was in shock that it was happening. I said I really need that, and but she also said too, like if you're losing oxygen, like you're in distress, like your decision making is not the best. So she was like, you should have came earlier, but also like next time just remember that if you ever feel like you don't need to. And she said just do it. So like after that happened, I felt so much better. It was great.
So like, do you trust me giving you an EpiPen shot?
Absolutely not. I will do it myself.
Well, man, I want to do. I want it to be like we're at a baseball game or something. And you just have an allergic reaction, and I have to give you the shot, so that I can, so like everyone can like applaud for me, and I'll get like World Series tickets. You know, I'll be on the Ellen show, the whole 9 yards. You know, I'll be the hero. I'll have
Sure.
the day named after me.
We can stage it. Just get like honestly, give me like like one whiff of a peanut thrown at a baseball game, and like we're all good.
But, yeah, you could just. I mean, I wonder what happened if I just gave you the shot without anything. Like you're just completely fine.
No, don't. I couldn't even. Well, I mean, granted, I had like way more medicine too, because I waited a long time that last time. Like I needed a lot of medication, but I couldn't walk. Like I was just shaking like uncontrollably because it was so much. So if you ever gave that to me and I didn't need it, I would need to go to the hospital, probably.
So like,
I
so like,
know what happened to. Um, I know someone. She was because her son was allergic to stuff, and she was trying to show him like what to do, and she thought, and they give you like a tester, and she thought it was a test, and then she accidentally stabbed herself.
what happened when you stab yourself? Do you actually know?
Like if you
Like if
don't
you're,
need to.
yeah. Like do you
I,
just
I don't
be?
I don't know, but it's like I think it sends you into overdrive, so probably don't do that. I
Should I
feel like this
Google it?
whole podcast needs to have a huge disclaimer before people listen.
I'm just gonna Google it just to see. Well, for one, you have to inject it into the thigh muscle. I thought you could just inject it anywhere.
Yeah, and that's why I don't trust you to give me the EpiPen because I know that you would like
Well,
want to
I
kill me.
wouldn't. No, I
You
definitely
talked about
wouldn't. I'll
you
just
have
make a.
talked about killing my sister multiple times, and you know
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
done to
what
everyone.
did your, but that's your sister. I'm talking to Amanda right now. I don't want you to die. I'll make it a dramatic moment, but I'm not gonna. I'll make like some noises like dun 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 dun. I saved the day. But I wouldn't want you to die.
Well, I really hope that we don't ever get to that point, but if we do, I hope that you do get free stuff because you deserve it. How's that?
And an accidental injection to the hands or feet can impair blood flow to those areas and can potentially cause tissue death. This, however, is the worst case scenario. Okay, here we go. Symptoms of an accidental injection are not usually so severe and may include temporary numbness or tingling, pain and swelling at the injection site, elevated heart rate, and or heart palpitations. Regardless, you should always seek medical attention in the event of an accidental injection. It's better safe than sorry.
See, I told you that.
Yeah, I did. I needed to educate my audience, and now I'm sure they were all wondering what happens if you inject themselves. So they said 94% of injections are in the fingers because you're just trying to like get it to work.
Yeah,
So,
true.
but then is there only one injection and one EpiPen then? If you inject yourself, then like you're gonna die, right?
Yeah, like you have to get it right the first time.
Yeah.
But
So
they
you.
come in a pack. You're technically supposed to carry both around, but I don't because like who has room for that in their purse? So I just do one and the inhaler. And I never used to carry my inhaler around with me, but ever since I had that really bad reaction, and my inhaler is what like saved me because it like I remember I I was like just choke like I could not breathe. I was basically like suffocating, and my sister actually recognized that I was like basically choking, like basically not breathing, and my inhaler is what saved me. And she told me to take it, and she brought it to me, and like this whole thing. And I was telling her no, like I'm fine, whatever. You know, clearly just not thinking right. And my
Typical
inhaler
Amanda.
saved me. No, I know. I'm like, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm like literally dying. I'm fine, it's okay. But yeah, like my inhaler completely just like helped me, like actually become okay. So now I always bring my inhaler with me, and I did not before. Because I was like, oh, I'm fine. Like, what am I gonna do? Run a mile and need my inhaler, you know? But
I
now
mean,
I,
do you always bring it with you, even though you're never really like far from your home?
yeah, I do because I do because like that moment was actually like looking back, like that was really scary because I really could not breathe. I was like suffocating basically, and it sounded like I was like choking basic like on nothing because I just couldn't breathe. Without my inhaler, I don't know what I would have done. Like would I have even made it to the doctor? I don't know.
So next time, just put the pen into your thigh, then go straight to the hospital, and
Yeah, next
you'll
time
be
I'll
okay.
I'll do it immediately. I'm not gonna wait 6 hours and be like I'm okay. Like that is actually not the time to um that's not the time to I guess underestimate yourself, I guess. Like in
I
that
mean,
case, always err on the side of caution. Don't.
I don't blame you because you, for one, you never been in that situation before, and it kind
Yeah.
of almost unheard of. Like, hey, your throat can swell up to where you can't breathe. It kind of seems like why? Like, it kind of seems counterintuitive. Like, why is your body wanting to like kill itself in a way? So it's like, why doing that thing? So I mean, I get it, but we're also talking to Amanda here, and you know, she can wait to the last second to get help. And then, you know, she could have asked, 3 hours ago, and she could have been at home chilling, watching Netflix. But no, everyone's at the hospital, worried about you, and they're dying. Like, oh,
Yeah, it was not great. And then I went to work the next day. Actually,
oh
that's a
shit.
lie. This kind of like happened overnight. So what, like the morning, like when I left the hospital, then I went to work the next day. And I regret doing that. I'm like, you know what? I probably could have had another day because I was on so many other medicines like after, because like I still wasn't okay, like a bunch of steroids, and I was just like feeling like all over the place. So
Are
yeah,
you still okay now, or are you still?
I'm fine. That was 2 years ago. Like during the time, it took me like a week to recover. But now I'm fine.
It's crazy that you always have to like worry about what you eat. So I wanted to go. It seems like your allergies are pretty serious. So how are they going into restaurants? Like I know they have to list ingredients and such according to law, but what is your experience with going to restaurants?
Every time I go to a restaurant, I just have to be really clear about what I'm allergic to whoever I'm ordering from. But I also set myself up for success by going to restaurants where they have cuisines that are naturally like have more options for me. And like I also don't take risks when I order food. I'll pick something that's really plain, like even if I can have like other things on the menu, pick things that are like really low risk, just because it's not worth it to me. I want to enjoy my night, and also it's not really fair to this restaurant to like make something complicated and then like have to be like, how do I make this egg and nut free? You know, like I just try to pick the most plain thing possible, because I really just don't want to take a risk.
Are you ever in a situation where like you want to try something, but you're like have a plan of in case something doesn't go right, or like you'll order something, take like a bite, and then like wait it out a little bit?
Yep, I definitely do that. And like one example is not necessarily at a restaurant, but like when I was on vacation with my husband's family, they found a bakery that makes key lime pie and that doesn't have eggs in it. But I was really worried because even though it doesn't have eggs, like I was worried about cross contamination. But then they were like, "Oh, this is the only thing that we make." It was like a really small place or whatever. And then I was like, okay, I guess I'll try it. And I was just so nervous because like I just couldn't believe that a pie wouldn't have eggs in it. And also it like looks delicious, like everything good. Probably is something I'm allergic to. So I was really nervous, and I still remember when I had my first bite, I was freaking out. I had like the smallest piece, and then immediately in my head I was like, okay, I'm dying. And then I was like, all right, no, just kidding, you're not. And then I had a little another piece, and then I ended up being fine. And then now we get it every year because it's the one pie that I'm not allergic to.
Well, I'm guessing since your body's so used to being allergic, do you ever get like you're not allergic to it, but you're so stressed about being allergic that you almost become allergic to it in a way?
For sure. I definitely can convince myself that like I have a stomach ache or my throat's closing or I don't feel right because of the anxiety that comes with it. But I'll always think back to the time when something was wrong, like I knew immediately. So I kind of tell myself that because I'm like, is this really? Because like now that I have gotten really sick, it's kind of good in a way because now I know what to compare it to. So that kind of helps. But I still can create this whole thing in my head. And like I 100% have anxiety going out to eat or eating like home cooked meals that like friends have made for me because you just never know. So like I definitely do get really nervous, but I have ways to like talk myself out of it.
I'm guessing because you live closest to your husband, so like, is there signs that he can see that maybe you don't see, or is it more of just only you can know if you're not feeling well?
It depends. Because you can, the allergic reaction can vary all the way to anaphylaxis, all the way down to like something like a hive without a stomach ache or swelling. So, can I ask you a question since you're asking me questions?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah. So, my question for you is if you were going out to dinner with somebody and they were allergic to everything there, but you guys like made plans and you found yourself in the situation where you're going to go out to dinner, would you feel weird being the only person eating at the dinner?
So so I'm the only one eating, or I'm the only one not eating?
You're the only one eating because like let's just say I'm allergic, right? But I already ate, like I'm not starving and like I can get food somewhere else and like we're just hanging out and chilling. Like would you feel weird being the only person eating?
No, I mean, if I knew of your allergy before, like I know you well, so obviously I would take the restaurant into consideration. So like I would go in knowing to go to a restaurant that you could eat, that we could all eat together, because kind of the same as, well, I mean I experience it in my own way. So like I need places that to be wheelchair accessible. Like no one can go to a place that's not wheelchair accessible, and I'll be the only one excluded. That would just be unfair to me and then unfair to you. So if like I know you, so I would choose a restaurant that would be accommodated with you, and I will ask you like beforehand, like, is this an okay restaurant? And then you would say yes or no, and if no, then I'll find something else. If I guess I didn't know you, and then let's say we were just choosing a restaurant, I would just go, I would defend you and say, let's find a restaurant that we can all eat together, because obviously it's a health hazard, and I wouldn't want you to not be eating just because you can't. So like I would accommodate to that, and then let's say they don't do that and you have to eat alone. Well, we can do two situations. One could be, let's say we're all eating and I could say, hey, can we order from a different restaurant, and then you eat it there so you can eat together with us. So that's one option. Or two, I'll just sit there with you with your other restaurant and just enjoy yourself, because you watched us eat, enjoying ourselves. So like you deserve the same amount of respect you gave me, so I would sit there and talk to you and watch you eat, because that's really only that's fair. And I guess you'll have like a double dinner or dessert or something, but at the end of the day, it's more of you gave me your time and respect for me to eat, so I'm gonna give you the same thing, and that's only fair.
So basically, you're just a really good friend.
Yeah, I'm a good person.
Oh wait, did I just say that?
I mean, shit happens, and like it's hard to accommodate everyone. I can totally understand that, but I think if you're in a group together, everyone should be comfortable and not have to worry about their health at all. And like to me, I care about everyone that's in the party together. I make sure everyone's included, having fun. Just try to be hospitable. Yeah, that's how I go with my life, because I've been in many situations where I wasn't always included, and I was excluded, and no one cared, and it made me feel like shit. And so like I would never want anyone to experience that. So I do anything I can to when I'm in a situation like that.
Yeah, because you're just a really good friend, and also like you said, I feel like a lot of people don't understand what it's like to be excluded from things for things that you just like simply can't help about yourself. And like I obviously got like bullied a lot like growing up for like just being allergic to things even though it's like not my control, or like people are just being weird about it, like especially dating and you're allergic to stuff, people like don't handle it well. So I feel like, and then also you understand from your own experience what it's like to be excluded from things, and people are just
So
kind of
did
mean.
so did this happen to you a lot then, being excluded because you weren't able to eat?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like all the time, because if you think about it, a lot of social interactions are, revolved around food. So if friends are like, "Oh, we're gonna go here, here, and here," oh wait, like she's allergic, or like, "Oh no, you can't come," it's like you can't eat it, whatever. Like growing up, that was definitely the case, and that's why now I'm like, if I can't, like if people are doing something, I'll just go and chill. But like I can't eat obviously, but like I just kind of like get over it. And plus when you're with the right friends, people just don't care, or they find ways to accommodate you. But like growing up, that's not the case. Or like I would just randomly get teased about it, like constantly, people just bringing it up, especially in like middle school, even high school, or like elementary school, and they're passing around like stuff for everyone's birthday and like all these cupcakes, and like I'm the only one that can't eat it. Like I just like get all the questions, and I'm like, tease, what's gonna happen to you? Like it never really goes away, except for when you're an adult, because like when you're an adult, you can control who you talk to, basically. And I surround myself with good people.
Oh, that's why you invited me to your wedding.
Exactly. And you killed
But
it on the dance floor, so.
thank you. But now, do you feel that's easier hanging out with people now as an adult versus children? Like, are people more accommodating to you, or are they still the same?
Um, I would say like it's different though, because it's just like a different setting. Like if I was in a social setting constantly, like when you are growing up, I probably would encounter more challenges. Like now, obviously, I'm like going to work, and with all my social settings, like I have a really good friendship, with a lot of people. So I have like less of that to worry about, and plus like the quality of people I hang out with are like a lot higher when I was like younger, basically. You know. But like I'll still get those questions like through work when everyone's like going out to like lunches, like people like salespeople take us out and they want to give us gifts and food and all that. They're like, "Oh, that sucks." But I have really good experience dealing with it when people tell me flat out to my face, "That sucks." Because that's how we became friends.
But does like your friend, do they accommodate you, or you just don't eat?
No, they accommodate me. They do. They do. For sure. Like what like we and then like people I live like near, like one of our friends is making everybody dinner, and like she actually, and my other friend too, they both like specifically went out of their way to make like pasta safe meals. Wait, that's my nickname. So like everything is pasta safe. So like I am very lucky that I have people who would just go out of their way to make sure that like I would feel comfortable, instead of being like, "Oh, I made dinner tonight. Like I don't know if you can have it." "Oh, that sucks." Like they're very inclusive.
Yeah. So for Christmas, I might buy you a whole box of EpiPens.
Dude, they're expensive. I would appreciate that.
Well, I might buy them empty though. So it's the thought that counts, right?
Yeah, that would be a good April Fool's joke. Like, psych.
No, but that'll be awful because like you like want to inject yourself, like you're dying, it's like not working, and then you'll be like Joey, and that could be your last word.
Do you
And
really
it
want
could
my
be,
last word to be Joey?
yeah,
Joe.
it could be on your tombstone, and everyone could be wondering why is the guy's name is not even like everyone would think, oh, Joey is probably her husband. It's like no, it's totally different.
Yeah, it's gonna be like my last word. What did she say? What
Like
was her last
you
word?
can have like a QR code on your tombstone so that everyone can just like scan it and they can tell the whole story.
You just thought you just thought of the most brilliant idea, but not like unrelated, just like advertising in general. Could you imagine you can pick one URL that you pay for, and it's like a QR code on your tombstone. It could be anything. Like, it could be a product thing. Like, I could be like, bitch, sponsor me, even though I'm dead. Or it could just be like your website or like a link to your podcast.
Well, I know that once I'm dead, my podcast gotta go to the roof and all
You
my
what?
videos. Yeah, because like it happens to every single artist. Once they die, they become like the number one artist for like the week. Everyone listens to your music for a long time, and my numbers are gonna go way up.
That's so morbid.
I mean, it's true though. So it's either I keep working at it now and I get big my own, or I die and I get big anyway. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna get big, regardless of what happens. So it's a win-win for me.
I honestly don't watch unboxing videos, and maybe this is me just sounding like I'm just super old, but I just don't understand the hype around people. Like, I don't understand the hype around people watching other people just do ordinary life things. Like, oh, I'm like, well, I guess like the Twitch streams, like, I don't get that. I don't get the unboxing. The day in my life on TikTok just is so weird because a lot of times too, like especially the New York City ones, like these people who are doing that are either super bougie or just like don't have a corporate job and they can just chill and do whatever. And like, I'm just like, all right, well, if I did a day in my life, it's me just going to my computer and then like 12 hours later, I'm logging off and going to bed. Like, I feel like they're not realistic and I just don't like watching them.
No, the unboxing I think are really fun depending on like what it is. Like I watched like unboxing of shoes actually. Like I'm into sneakers now, and I'm gonna eventually buy. But I don't know, I think they're fun, and it depends on the person. They can really make it fun too. Like you have to find that right person to enjoy it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Maybe you should start doing more, and then I would follow yours.
I mean, I did an unboxing of the laptop. That was really funny, I think.
Unboxing of like of a box of some sort, just like keep going.
It's out there, yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't have anything to unbox, so I don't buy anything. So we are going to move in a total different direction. So you are married. I asked Amanda out 8 years ago, and 5 years later asked to marry me. She said no both times. It's okay. It's okay if you get married to the streets. Anyway, the reason I know Amanda is married actually is because she invited me to be a witness at her wedding. Right? Crazy? Yes. Thought it was a typo. It was actually my first wedding ever. I made a vlog about it. It was super fun and hilarious video. But a lot of little things, a lot of little jokes that went right over Amanda's head. Comment on the video if you can see what I mean. So like one example would be, the super emotional moment of father-daughter dance and great music and such. And then all of a sudden a Spotify ad comes into play. And Amanda thought that it was actually a Spotify ad, but it was actually an ad that I put in there for comedy relief because nothing can ever be serious for more than 3 minutes. And Amanda really thought it was just an ad, and I had to explain the joke to her, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, I 100% thought that was a real Spotify ad. I didn't know until we talked, like, when? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, and I filmed that video.
The whole time, I had no idea.
You gotta watch the video again. Obviously your wedding, so it's great to relive that moment. It's awesome to get married. I can't ever imagine someone loving me to want to spend the rest of their life with me. But we do have a great picture together. It's on my Insta, Joe Sooch, JoeSoochh. She plug. Anyway, how did your relationship change from going to a couple to engaged and now married?
So, in terms of the relationship, though, I think nothing changed, I guess, necessarily, I would say, which is really cheesy. Every single day you spend with the person that you love them even more than the day before, even though you don't think it's possible, but it's true. That's exactly
so cheesy right now.
It is cheesy, but I'm telling you, it's true. And I learned that especially after being married, because you're like, all this builds up love and excitement for a wedding date, and then you're engaged, married, and like, oh, you're like, you live together, and now you're like living your life. But it's true because I still feel like a newlywed, even though I'm on year 2. I guess I'm still a newlywed, but like every day you just kind of feel like you're still in love and you're newlyweds and everything's still so exciting and you just love that person so much more than you ever thought was possible, because just the other day you're like, I love you so much, and your heart's bursting, and it just keeps happening. every day.
That's adorable. Well, weird question is that you kind of got married twice because of the pandemic, and you had like a smaller wedding and then the bigger one where I was invited. But like, what is your anniversary?
I'm definitely gonna say I have 2 anniversaries, so I can get 2 gifts.
Oh
So
my
that's
God.
fine.
I'm
But
glad I'm not married to you.
oh, Joey, you still need to get me gifts. Let's be real. Um, I see your face. Anyway, so yeah, like the anniversary thing, I still say I'll have two, but the first anniversary is unique or interesting because I didn't plan to get married on that day. I just like kind of had to plan this like wedding in 3 weeks because of COVID and everything. And it turns out that day was actually our at the anniversary of me and Jared's first date. So that's really special to me because I obviously wanted to get married on a day that had a lot of meaning, but I couldn't, when I first took my wedding date. And then through COVID, we ended up getting married on the first day of or the day of our first date, which is
Wait, so
October 3rd.
so was that on purpose that you got married on that day, or did it happen to be that day?
It totally happened to be that day.
Wow.
Completely random. And I remember it because it's October 3rd, and that's the date in Mean Girls when he's like, he asked me what day it was, and I said October 3rd.
It's really cute. So, yeah. So what? So you said 2 days. So that was one day. So what's the other day?
The other day is Free Slurpee Day, 7-Eleven, and that's the one that you were at, and you got to party your butt off.
Wait, it was free Slurpee Day that day?
Yeah, it was Free Slurpee Day.
Damn, you should have had a Slurpee machine.
I thought about it, but they don't let you because it's from the outside.
Oh, because I remember you wanted to have a drive-in truck thingy,
Yeah.
and I guess because of COVID they didn't let you.
They don't let you, but it's also because they don't want outside vendors providing any food because then they don't make money. They want you to buy everything through them.
Yeah, when they were giving me food because I can't eat, like the first 2 meals and then they told everyone I couldn't eat, so they just stopped giving me food, which was great because I didn't want to waste the food. Cause they give you so much food.
Yeah, I saw that there was a lot. I didn't eat any of it because I was too busy. But and Joey, it's funny. You were probably one of the people that I danced with the most.
Really? We danced all the way at the end. Do you even remember any of it?
Yeah, we had a great time, and that's where a lot of our pictures were from the end. In the beginning, we had those pictures by the table and everything, but then we had
Yeah.
pictures on the dance floor when we were dancing.
Yeah, I had to drink a lot first to get there.
That's what you told me.
I mean, I did. I had to.
I had to tell all my podcast listeners that you really have a lot of good moves because Joey, and you look so good in this suit too. That is that I think is that suit looks so good on you.
Thank you. Yeah, I kind of want to wear it more. Just but next time we hang out, I can wear it again. We can have a 2 outfit kind of photo shoot, one regular and then one fancy. We can stretch it to we hung out twice, but we only hung out once.
True, we can fake everyone out.
Yeah, that's what I do with my photos. I'll take a lot of photos in different places, and I'll kind of break the photos apart so it looks like I'm out more than I'm really not. Sometimes I'll just post thinking I'm out, but I'm really just at home not doing anything.
I'm sure a lot of people do that. I never thought about it like that though.
I do. I mean, there'll be a lot of good photos from one spot, but I don't understand people that will upload 5 photos and one post, and then you ruin all the photos because someone can like your photo whether you have 1 or 5, so you might as well take the 5. You might as well just post 1 and then save the other 4 for another day, so you have another post.
I think I know what you're saying, but I'm not
But it's
sure.
why put all your effort into one post? But you can make 3 or 4 posts.
You're thinking like a content creator, very strategic.
But going back to the podcast, and then I'll end it up. Yeah, so how did it feel when you when you got married and you came home? How did did you feel different, or you were just another day?
It definitely was not just another day. I ended up moving to a total a new I was living with my parents. Now I live in an apartment, and we were just got married and we saw our family, and it was just like the first time that we've ever lived together. So I still remember that feeling, and it was, you know, it was new and exciting, and it still is, even on year 2.
Oh, that's so adorable. I hope someone will give me those kind of feelings or have the same feelings instead of just when does this end? And I hope to experience that one day.
Well, we have to set your profile up, and you have to put, like, maybe you'll put all of your new photos on there.
Nah, and I'm not
You know what I
attractive
mean?
enough, so I have to get verified, then I'll increase my chances of getting something.
You'll have to what? Get verified?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be like one of those people that puts the fake blue check next to their name to make everyone
Um,
think they're verified? Do not do that.
no, I'm not gonna do that. They legit get verified, and that'll make me way more attractive. Like they'll just like me for my fame, and I'll take anything I can get at this point. The dating, like you can ask anybody and anywhere, the dating world is horrible. So you're lucky you found the one so early, and you can spend the rest of your life not having to worry about anyone but yourself and your man, and that's it. So
Worrying
before,
about that and also not dying when I eat, so.
well, if you're dying, you can come to me and I'll give you the pen. Then I'll pay for your Uber.
I'll pay for the Uber.
Yeah, and I'll pay for the Uber to my house, and I'll pay for the Uber to the hospital.
That's not fair because the hospital is really close to your house.
Well,
Not anymore?
that's a good thing for you then. So you're on the way to the hospital, so perfect.
Oh, I set myself up for that one.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
yeah, perfect. I have one of the greatest hospital in the country, actually. So it's a win-win.
All right, Joey, I guess maybe you'll convince me if I ever need EpiPen services, you're my next call. And then you'll probably regret doing it, but sure, you'll be my next call.
No, I'm gonna go with the rest of my life saying, okay, go whatever the day was. Today is the day I saved a man's life, and then we'll always have an anniversary cake and everything, and we'll have key lime pie.
Sounds good. I like that plan. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll call you next time I almost die.
Yeah. So before I take the mic away from you, is there anything you want to say or promote, or the mic is all yours?
Okay. I would just like to say thank you, Joey, for inviting me on your podcast, because I feel like this podcast is blowing up, and I feel like I'm in the presence of not just my friend Joe Sooch, but now like an actual like famous like internet blogger celebrity. So thank you so much for putting me on, because I'm like the most random person. And I really appreciate being friends with you for so long. I don't know how you put up with me, but you do. So thanks for being my friend too. You're honestly the best.
I did block you and I don't like you and walk away, and I'm not married to you. That's a win-win-win. Jared has to put up with it. I don't. I did have to bring Grey Goose, and we're good to go.
There we go. More shots of Grey Goose.
Yes. Okay. So thank you everyone for listening and watching, and I'll see you everyone next time. Bye.
Bye.